2025. We think about, I mean, we just literally just had Thanksgiving, right? What we're grateful for, things like that. And some people, might really feel burdened by the holidays in terms of, actually, you know what? Let me fix something real quick. Hang on. Oh, sorry. Some people might really feel burdened by the holiday season because it's a time of, even though it is a time of joy and gatherings and rejoicing and fun and breaks and things like that, even though it is that time, but it's also a time of the opposite things too, because let's not assume that just because it's holidays means that everyone is having a grand old time, everyone is pumped. People are in different seasons of life. They have different things going on. Okay? And the holidays don't mean the same thing to everyone at all times. And we assume the best, and it is good to put out in the air positivity. Obviously, you don't want to be like, oh, let's celebrate, something super dark. Also, you don't want to be the one highlighting somebody's dark times and things like that. However, let's not dismiss it, right? Let's not pretend like it doesn't exist. It does. If you're celebrating life and you're recognizing all colors of life, then it is worth recognizing both the good and the bad, both the light and the darkness. That the season brings. So for some people, this year marks, or this holiday season marks a time of grievance, a dark time for them. It's not necessarily a time of rejoicing and let's go to and fro, from this store and that store and jump up and down and spend money and, swipe this, swipe. No, it's not that for them. Their heart is very heavy right now, right? And not acknowledging that at all, or maybe not, at least in the secular world, in the day-to-day, you're not gonna go to a store and see, I'm so sorry for your loss. So you're not gonna go necessarily see that. You really have to seek that out, right? So it's mostly joy and happy and this and that, and that's awesome. We want to preserve positivity. We want to preserve the good and flood spaces with light and joy and things like that. We want that because there's a lot of darkness in the world, yes. So not to take that away at all. It does do a lot of good, and sometimes it helps that's okay. People often say, "Oh, don't escape your thoughts, don't escape this, don't be busy." But you know what? When you just need to get through 24 hours, being busy is what you need, right? When you need to just get through the next 24 hours, or a couple of hours, or whatever the case, escaping is what you need to get through. It's just like, I just need to get to nighttime so I can go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's it, right? And that's okay as well, as long as it's not, a daily thing. That's not your solution to the problem, but it's just like, that's what I need today. That's what I need this week I just need to get by and just cruise for a while. Okay, I don't have the energy to face this right now, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you just can't, right? And having all this busyness outside in the real world, in the supermarkets, in the stores, in everybody else's lives, so it seems, can be a form of distraction, and can be good sometimes. Imagine that. Distraction is good. But getting back to the topic, or this aspect of the topic of, you're not gonna go to a store and see something that says, "I'm sorry for your loss, you're gonna get through this," or hang in there. If somebody might be battling a health issue or whatnot, or just got really bad news not too long ago, and is in the thick of it, you're not going to see much acknowledging the pits of life, the hardships, the dark times of life during the holiday season. It's almost like for a month or two or a couple weeks, people want to pretend that that's not your life. Like, you're not sick, right? You didn't just lose a loved one. You didn't just get fired, right? Okay. People want to pretend that that's not the case. And for some reason, for some people, again, maybe that might work as an escape. But escaping is not a permanent solution to any problem, right? Never. At some point, you need to face it. Sooner rather than later, you need to name the thing and actually be able to deal with it for what it is. So, going around and acting like what you're going through is not happening, it's probably unhealthy, because it's suppressing feelings that are obviously there. And we know what happens when you suppress feelings. They resurface another way. They show up anyways, whether you like it or not. Might as well, if they're coming out, might as well acknowledge it, then rather than suppress it and have it come out in one of your organs, something like that, in your body, somewhere where you don't have that much control. Like, you actually have to go to the doctor and deal with that, And once you get in there, who knows when you're gonna get out? Okay. Prescribe this, prescribe that, and you never know when you're gonna come out of that cycle. Versus, you feel the emotion coming up, actually addressing, maybe not right then and there, because you're legitimately, dealing with the day-to-day. But at least, plan for it. Acknowledge it. Recognize that it is there. And that it does require your attention. It does require you to. And that's not easy to do, because society doesn't really make room for people to deal with their feelings anymore. I mean, let's be honest. It doesn't really make room for people to deal with their feelings, but it's just like anything else. If you deem it society to realize that, oh, this is important, by the time they do all this research and realize that half the population is dying because of XYZ, now it's too late. Now you have 10,000 diseases and a pile of bills, medical bills, that is. So forget that. Don't wait on anybody. Don't wait for the world to see that you need help. You need help, right? So just make it happen for yourself. It's that simple, But in the day-to-day, yes, it will take more thought and planning in the day-to-day, but at least acknowledge it for what it is. That's the first step. And the holidays are not always what people paint it to be. It's not that for everybody, and we know that deep down. We know that, but having to put your life on pause, it's almost like you've been going through this hardship all year, and then suddenly, poof, November, it's like, oh, let's put that on pause because I'm not going through that right now. And for let's say for Thanksgiving, season, okay, I'm not going through that right now. Let's pause this. Let's pause this grief that I've been dealing with, because grief is not allowed at the end of the year. What? I mean, how ridiculous does that sound? Okay, let's pause my illness, or how I feel about how I've been feeling for the last 9, 12, 18 months. Let's pretend that I'm actually not feeling. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna disregard the fact that I'm feeling, so I'm gonna eat whatever anyways, because it's the holidays. I'm not gonna let people know that I actually can't consume this because I'm dealing with XYZ condition, or I have this diagnosis. So that's not gonna work for me even during the holidays. What I'm gonna do is not tell them, okay? Keep it for myself and just put on a good face and a nice dress and nice pants. Okay, and just act like all is well. Because you know what? Christmas is coming, so I'm not sick now. I'll be sick again. I'll press the unpause button in January 1. I'm sick again. But right now, no. I mean, how crazy does that sound? Right? Life doesn't stop for anyone. Christmas or no Christmas, holiday or no holiday, life doesn't stop. So you don't need to pretend this year. You don't. Okay. Be where you are. Just be where you are. And that's okay. Be where you've been. Okay. If you're carrying grief, be with the grief. And make a conscious choice of, maybe, you know what? I am grieving, but let me try to enjoy this event. Okay. Okay, it only comes around once a year. I am sick, but I'm not gonna have everything, but I'm gonna taste this little thing. Okay. Okay, give yourself a little bit of grace in the process, but don't ignore. That's the thing. Don't just ignore yourself completely in the name of holidays, in the name of putting on a good face. Does that make sense? Your life was what it was. Every day, every month, every week, it was what it was up until this point. After all the parties, after all the deals and the sales and the discounts and this and that in the stores, after, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and all those things, after all those things, right? After the gatherings and the food and the events and the dinners and all that, after all the concerts, after all of those things, it's still gonna be you and yourself and your life and your condition and your situation and your household, right? So get out there, have fun in your own way, enjoy the bliss of the season, because it does only come around once a year, right? And there are things worth celebrating at the end of the year, as small as they might be. But don't pretend that you haven't been living real life, real world events for the past however many weeks, months. Okay? Just make a conscious choice of being a little bit more present. Make a conscious choice of giving yourself the opportunity to laugh, to have a good time. Yes, of course, have a good time. Go out there in the stores, get yourself a little something. That's fine. Okay? Enjoy the colors and the brightness of what the holiday season brings. But don't forget yourself. Okay? Don't neglect the fact that you are what you are. And that's okay. You're dealing with it in the best way you can at your own pace. Your time will come. Even if it's not now, your time will come.